Hey everyone, welcome back to Checkpoint, and behind me I have something very special. I'm talking today with
Carl Widmann. I'm the Chief Program Engineer on Mustang.
and we have the new Mustang Bullitt. So tell me, why a Bullitt? I'm young, so I wasn't around for when this car was big. What's the big deal about a Bullitt Mustang?
So what's big is the emotions that are attached to the movie, right? So it's the 50th anniversary of the movie. And then from a movie that's iconic like that is really tied into our brand of Mustang, right? So if you look at that car chase, there's no music in the background, right? It is the car, is the music, right? And so a lot of that ties into what our brand is, right? Mustang's an emotional purchase decision, right?
Right.
It's not your practical car, some would say. But so what we wanted to do is tie into those emotions that really are global and universal, right? So it's, it's about the style of the car, which is then what we call effortlessly cool, right?
Right.
So if you look at it, hey, that's a cool looking car, right? And that's what you want to get from an emotional standpoint. And then when you drive it, right, what we've done is we've made the engine unique and the sound of the engine unique. So primary orders of the engine are delivered by the exhaust and the intake manifold. And so what you can do and what we worked on is the tone, making a pure tone out of this car to take advantage of the intake manifold design we got from the GT350. So we're able to amplify that just because of the pure design. And because we take an open air inlet, open air box, which an open air box, what that means is, in essence, we use closed air boxes usually. If you open it up, there's nothing blocking the sound off the top of the air.
Okay.
So in essence, that noise that comes from the intake manifold configurations will resonate more in the cabin.
Okay.
And so you'll end up with a soundtrack that has a different character, we'll call it.
Okay.
Which has to do with the basic firing orders of the engine itself, which on a V8 are great.
Okay.
So
would
really,
an open air box add more high end, low end? Where does that come on the spectrum of the tone of the car?
think about it this way. Orders can cross frequencies as you go up at RPM.
Sure.
Because they're always based on the pulse of firing. So the pulse of firing goes up in occurrences per second as you rev up to 8,000 RPM, 7,000
Sure,
RPM.
right.
So it'll cut across all frequencies, but that's what is character, or some people call tone, is that character or the order of firing. As I ramp up RPM, I hear that same character as it gets higher and higher in frequency.
Okay.
But people can perceive that it's the same order of firing. So that's what we've been able to bring out, a lot of the order content. And then for legal limits, we've got to create a level of, so what we're doing is balancing not just sound for sound's sake,
Sure.
but it's more of a character driven. So really what we're doing is trying to bring forward that when you drive it, that visceral sense of the acceleration as it throws you back in the seat.
Yeah.
Right? That's great. Everybody loves that. That's
Right.
fun. Put your smile on your face when you drive it. And then we want the soundtrack of that to be as aggressive that is legally possible.
Very cool.
So that is, in essence, the emotion state of it, right? It
Right.
kind of celebrates what brought forward what we believe is an iconic movie.
Right, the
That's
scene let
great.
the car do the talking, so you wanted to
Exactly.
let this car do the talking for
Exactly.
itself.
And so we want to celebrate that, right? It's important in our heritage. When Steve McQueen picked the Mustang, he picked it because it was an affordable car. It matched what a detective salary could do.
Right.
We're still very core to what we want to be as affordable, right? So we want to celebrate that, right? So if you look at 68 Mustangs, right, they're clear over 50, 60, 70,000, right, for
Right.
fastback, right? So it's very hard to experience that as, Mustang enthusiast or anybody who just loves to drive, right? And so we want to make something that had all the pieces of that emotion interpreted into modern driving, right?
Right.
So it's got all the safety of, roof crush requirements and all these things that are more sophisticated. Go 163 miles an hour for the average person can drive it that fast. So you got to close track.
If you're allowed.
If you're allowed, right? But the stability of the car is a lot more engineering goes into it today than what we had in '68. And so it's really delivering that capability to then someone who purchases it, right, can have that experience, right? And it's cross-generational. It's just what you want to do when you're driving, right?
Right.
How do you want to do that, right? And some people want to have a fun time driving a car, right?
Exactly. This is Steve McQueen's modern Mustang. If you
Yep,
were to have
exactly.
one today, this is the spec he would choose.
Yep.
I also understand this is a special color to the Bullitt Mustang.
Yes. So as time goes by, right, technology changes and regulations changes for water-based paint and all those types of stuff. And so what we did is we remastered what we call dark Highland Green. And if you look at it in detail, you can kind of see it's got a real depth to it, right? And it is in a dark Highland Green. Why it was selected is it really kind of gives you the shape of the car has to speak, right? It's not a striped car. It's not, you know, in-your-face car or bright, happy,
effortlessly
M&M,
cool.
right? Exactly. So when you get into a dark color, it's important that it has depth, and it also brings forward what is the shape of the car comes out in the dark color.
Very cool. So it obviously looks great. Looks like a limited edition Mustang. Yep. How about the mechanics? What's going to separate this from your standard GT or something like that?
So this will be more powerful than a standard GT. What we've done is we've taken what is our standard 2018 motor, which is PFDI, which is basically direct injection with port fuel. So it's like 16 injectors and basically 8 cylinders. So what we've done with that is we said what we want to do is make it breathe best possible. So what you do to an engine to get power to breathe, you change the intake manifold, throttle bodies, and the airbox. So we've taken those parts off the GT350 because we know those work, and those are actually the best breathing parts around. So they bolt right into our head systems, and we had to do a unique airbox to fit the hood.
Okay.
And then we coupled that with what is our active exhaust, and an active exhaust has more less restriction. So it's really the best breathing 5-liter we got in the lineup from our perspective. That's how we get more horsepower out of it. And it's changed the torque curve, so it actually, as you go up in RPM, it has more torque as you go up in RPM because it breathes a little bit better. So it's a great driving engine as you get up to the red lines, just because it can breathe better than with those changes we made for the intake manifold and throttle body. You know, it's going from an 82 to an 87, so it's area based. So big change in the volume.
So lots of easy breathing parts from the GT350.
Yep.
So I know this was announced very recently. Do you know how soon this will be available to consumers? This summer? And I heard this was a limited run?
Yep.
Do you know how many are going to be made yet?
No, we haven't announced that.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Hey everybody. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. We've got lots of content coming out from the Chicago Auto Show, so be sure to subscribe so you can see those videos as they come out. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.